Hey guys, welcome back. This is my first video back at the old slash new place where this channel began, and I wanted to kick this off with a banger. So here it is. This is a 2021 S580. I've had my eye on this car ever since it came out. I've always wanted to get my hands on one of these, and I know a lot of people have requested me to check this out. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Did Mercedes-Benz step up their game when it comes to squeaks, or are they just as squeaky as ever? There's one way to find out. One thing the S-Class has always excelled at is rear seat room. This one is no exception. Still got a couple inches, and this seat actually does move back out of the way, so it's easier for the driver to get in and out. So even with this seat moved back a little bit, I still have plenty of room. And then this car does not have all the toys, doesn't have the reclining rear seats, but this is still plenty comfortable. Anyway, let's see if it squeaks or not. Let's see how the front does. Oh, let me just show you the soft closed door real quick. $27,000 miles. And now for the button test. quite want to do that. And now for the final button. Wow, the startup is so quiet you can barely tell the car's turned on. Guys, I think Daimler's been watching my videos. They finally answered all of our prayers. We have ourselves a very solid interior. All the areas are super strong, especially the side of the door here where there is not a single noise. Everything is completely just rock solid. You see this sound right here? That means it's rock solid. Pretty excellent stuff there. The rest of the interior was also fantastic. The front, the center console, the vents, the area by the screen, all pretty good. And I think my favorite part of all was the overhead console. This one did not make a single bad noise, does not sound cheap or plasticky at all. This is definitely real metal trim up here, guys. It's not plastic that's just sort of painted to look like metal. This is completely solid metal. This is the real deal, guys. I'm going to give this interior an 11 out of 10 for fit and finish. I've never been so flabbergasted in my career of doing cars than until I got into this W223 S580. This is automotive perfection, guys. As far as materials go, it's pretty good as usual. It's an S-Class though, so it had better be good. But here's what we're dealing with. Again, I don't think this is the most equipped car that I picked out, but we do have soft touch vinyl in all your major areas on the entire door, on the upper dash and the lower dash, so by your knees and lower. It's all soft touch vinyl, no hard crappy plastic there. Everything there is good. So I know you can upgrade to real leather. This one doesn't have that upgrade, but the soft touch vinyl is still acceptable. It does start to get a little bit hard right here though. There's some not as much give, but that's all right. Still got stitching. It's still a premium material nonetheless. S-Classes have always had wood as their main trim for the most part. This one's no exception. We got this wood right here. It is completely acceptable. Looks nice. It actually kind of looks just like the wood that was in my CT6. It's the same shade of brown. The only trim I'm not a fan of is where there isn't wood, there is black piano veneer looking plastic. That is all over the steering wheel. It's on this part of the door here surrounding the window switches, and it's in the center console area right here. It's very ubiquitous material. I wish they made this wood, just like on the dash here, but this whole area right here is the black piano veneer plastic. And you might not be able to see it on camera that well, but fingerprints, if you have greasy skin or you just ate some French fries or something, it's going to be on here. You can see all the dust and stuff like that. There's even a little scratch in here. You know, this car's a couple years old. It's got a scratch in here. Just, yeah, this piano veneer is just going to show everything, but it's in every new car now. It's kind of disappointing, actually. It's a shame. Look at all the fingerprints, too, on this screen. When the sun hits it just right, it just looks like shit. Speaking of the screen itself, it's just personally way too cluttered. I thought the outgoing S-Class had its string of pearls with their air vents, with the climate buttons just below that. I thought that was a perfect execution. This is just way too complicated. It takes your eyes off the road a little bit too much, in my opinion, unless you're really gonna get used to this. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like the big screen. The seats in this car are in fact real leather. They feel good. They have this nice diamond stitch pattern to them. Actually pretty nice seats, although I don't think they're quite as cushy as the outgoing car. Like in the W222, I thought they had more supportive bolsters, like for your thigh. I thought I had better thigh support. But I don't know. These are comfortable seats, but I don't think they're any more comfortable than the outgoing car. These actually might be a little bit less comfortable. I'll have to do a back-to-back on that one. Here's something the Mercedes did get right. We got a cloth headliner and a cloth sun visor, not plastic. That's nice. Now, the buttons and switchgear in this car are honestly a bit of a mixed bag, in my opinion. We got nice stuff on the window switches here. That's no problem. That's the same as the outgoing S-Class. Although a lot of these buttons are basically one big button, but depending on which zone of the single button that you press, it can control different things. Like this thing here with the heated seats and the memory seats, this is all just one huge button, but depending on which area you press, it'll do a different function. So not quite as button filled as outgoing cars. That's the same thing on the steering wheel. These are both two just massive buttons with different zones. I don't know how I feel about that. Some people probably like it. I don't know if I'm really into it. And then Mercedes did finally improve their stocks a little bit. I mean, let's be real here. This is the same stock that's in the $30,000 Mercedes A-Class, but instead of it being completely black plastic, it's black plastic, and then they added a painted silver plastic to make it look a little bit different, yeah, for the S-Class. Smart thinking. But yeah, I guess the rest of the buttons, they feel okay, but they don't really blow me away. And then there is some knurling in a couple areas, like on the vents and stuff. That's no different from some of the outgoing Mercedes models. A lot of stuff is kind of the same, actually. I don't know if it's a gigantic upgrade over the outgoing car. And then, of course, the bright work and the design in this car is very nice. Even though it's all plastic, it's not metal like on some cars. I'd give this interior a 7 out of 10 for materials. If this car had the full leather dash and doors, that would be an easy 8, but this one gets a 7 out of 10. Definitely above average, but it's not blowing me away. It's not anything that I haven't seen before. So there you guys have it. Your final score is 11 out of 10 for fit and finish, perfect score, and 7 out of 10 for materials. Please let me know your thoughts. I did drive this car around the block really quick. I've never been inside of a W223 until right now. Never driven one, so I wanted to see what it was like. And to be honest, it doesn't feel that different from a W222. I know I mentioned that about some of the interior bits, but as far as the driving experience, it's very close. It's been a couple of years since I've driven a W222, however, so again, I'll have to do kind of a back-to-back comparison, but this being a whole new generation newer, you know, I don't know if it's really worth the upgrade, to be honest. You know, brand new, these cars are 120 grand. You know, that's the starting price, at least for an S580. You know, that's the one you want to get. You don't want the four-cylinder, not the four-cylinder, the six-cylinder in an S-Class. Like, come on. You want that V8. The 4-liter V8 is a nice engine. But yeah, I don't know. This does not, to me, feel any better than the W222. It might actually be a little bit worse because I went over a couple bumps and a couple of them did feel kind of on the harsh side, surprisingly. The rest of the interior is pretty isolated, especially from the sound of the bump and of the road and stuff. Very isolated, but as far as the feeling of the bump coming through your butt, I don't know. It's not the best. Yeah, honestly, if it's coming down to this, I mean, this car is priced at around 70 to 80 grand. I think I have to look it up. It's a 3 years old used car, you know, 70 grand, lost 50 grand or so in 3 years. Okay, whatever, it depreciates like a Mercedes. Would you rather buy this car for 70 grand or spend 40 grand or even as low as 30 for a W222? I don't know, man. I think the W222 is going to be better value for the money because it offers virtually the same driving experience. This, of course, has better technology. And when I say better, I mean more complicated, although the W222 also has very high technology for its time. So I don't know what to think. I'd have to drive that car back to back to really experience it. But yeah, I can tell you the fit and finish is absolutely perfect. It blows any car out of the water that I've done ever. Perfect car. It's like God himself crafted this interior, I swear. Anyway, I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Peace.